Welcome to the Exploring Author YouTube channel. We have a great one today, as always. Behind me is Karlsburg, or Karlsburg ruin, castle ruins. It's the main event, but you might be saying, Aaron, on this channel, we never start at the main event. And that is correct. But we are here to ask a question. And then we're gonna go down like we normally do and start the adventure trying to find those what is that moments that us travelers like. But the question we have to ask ourselves is, how did a major castle complex end up like what's behind me? How did it end up that way? But for that, you're gonna have to wait, because we're gonna go down and start in the town of Karlstadt, make our way to Laudenbach. There's a bunch of gems along the way, and a lot of those what is that moments that I love and you love. So, enough jibber jabber, let's start the adventure. We are right outside of the main entrance to the city, the medieval entrance to Karlstadt. Karlstadt is a population of about 15,000 people, and it has incredible history. We have ourselves a very beautiful, albeit very, very cold day today. It's -7 degrees Celsius, 19 degrees Fahrenheit. And you might be asking yourself, Aaron, what's wrong with you? Why wouldn't you just wait until you have a warmer day? And to that I say, very fair question. One is I'm from Wisconsin, so I theoretically should be able to handle this and know how to dress for this weather. We're gonna test that theory today. Two, I'm flying to Texas tomorrow. It's about 20 hours of travel. I wanted to get out and have an adventure before I left Germany for 10 days. And number three, I've tried 3 different attempts to come to Karlstadt, and Mother Nature has always ruined it with rain. She's always rained on my parade, literally. Not today, Mother Nature, not today. I don't care if it's -20, we're coming to Karlstadt because, like I said, tomorrow I have to fly. So behind me, we have the main entrance, a medieval entrance from the 13th century, early 13th century. And as we always do on this channel, we're not just gonna say, wow, that's really beautiful. We're gonna learn a little bit about it. Let's start touring Karlstadt. Let's go over a little bit of high-level history of this town as we're touring it, because it's always good to know where we're visiting as travelers. Let's back up, because this city as you see it today wasn't built until the 13th century, the early 13th century. Now that was a long time ago. Now Karlstadt wasn't an organic city. It was actually a planned city. So everything you're seeing today from the 13th century, which is right behind me, the medieval gates, everything like this was planned, even the market square. So what we're seeing today and what the street planning is and how the plan is laid out was from the 13th century all the way until the early 1200s. That is incredibly old. So the main gate and all the walls around it were really designed back then to defend itself against Count Rieneck in Lower Main. And what you're seeing today is really incredibly preserved, because a lot of these cities in Germany do not have this. So when you're seeing the marketplace, you're seeing the walls, you're seeing the gates, you're seeing the towers, these are still remnants of the 13th century, which is incredible because not a lot of places around the country have such a preserved wall, gate, and towers. Now there are a few towns in Germany that have a full intact medieval wall. This is not one of them, but it is fairly preserved, so that makes it very, very incredible. I'm standing on the stairs of the Rathaus, or the historic town hall, right above the marketplace. And as I said earlier, this marketplace was in the original designs of the city in the early 13th century. Now the buildings, of course, have been replaced, obviously. I mean, they're not from the 13th century. But just imagine where this thing was taking place. You had people from out in the countryside bringing in their farm products, everything like this, and the market was booming. This is where the commerce took place. And this was a commerce hub in the region. I don't know if they still have their weekly markets here. If you're from the area, please comment and let me know if the weekend markets or the Wochenmarkts still take place in this market. Because that to me is incredibly cool. If we're still doing the same markets in the marketplace that was over 800 years ago, that's incredible. It's a beautiful marketplace. I'm already excited. You can tell I'm amped up. It's cold. I don't even care. Let's keep exploring this town. Well, I just walked into the St. Andrea church, and this very, very nice lady started to explain to me the history of this place. Now, my German is a work in progress. I do need to say that. I understood about probably 40-50%, but then I started understanding more because she was extremely patient with me. She even showed me the back area and everything like this, so it was really, really cool. And then as I was about to leave, it was the sweetest thing. She bought me this book on the history of St. Andreas, which it's in German, so it's good for my German, and you know, I love history, so it's just a really nice thing. You meet people in towns. I did not expect that. I tried not to let her pay, but she was adamant about it, so. But just already an incredible day, and we just started the exploration. This is why I like exploring the places like this. All right, we are on the other side of the river, so over there is Karlstadt. Behind me is Karlsburg, where we're gonna go later, but we're not gonna go there just yet. We're going to go over to Laudenbach, which is a different district, and there are a lot of hidden gems, and I think a lot of people skip over that area, which is a shame because everything I read about it is incredible. So we're gonna go there first, then we're going up to Karlsburg, and then we're gonna answer the question, how did the castle get ruined like it is today? But stay tuned because there's going to be some hints as we get into Laudenbach as to how maybe the castle got ruined. But I did stop at a local bakery. It was too good to pass up. The ladies in there were extremely nice. By the way, again, shout out to, I'm going to call her Miss M. I'm not going to use her full name on the camera. I don't know if she wants me to or not. But in the church, St. Andreas, 14th century church, you really, really set the tone for today. And you made the adventure just so much better. So if she ever does see this, or if somebody that knows her sees this, or might think you know Miss M, give her a big thank you for me, because that was just incredible. But what I have here is an elephant's ear, or an elephant pretzel. I love these things. So we're gonna have a little bit of this. I do need a little, you know, I gotta have a little fuel. Come on now. Oh, absolutely. What we have behind me is a Jewish cemetery that dates back all the way to the mid-1600s, even thought to go back as far as 1600 itself. Now this serviced 16 different communities in the area. Laudenbach had a very, very large Jewish community. One of the main reasons I wanted to come here was to tell a story that happened in 1938 with regards to the Nazis. On this channel, you'll see I'm more like happy-go-lucky. I love the history. I'm very amped up, very energetic. I've been trying to find my voice and find a way to tell stories like this that don't disrespect it, that honor it, that don't bring a disservice to the topic itself. So I'm going to try. This is the first time I've attempted to do this, so bear with me. On November 9th, 1938, the Nazis came into Laudenbach and I guess other areas of Germany as well. And they essentially dragged Jewish people out of their homes, beat them mercilessly, also looted their homes and desecrated a lot of gravestones throughout the Nazi regime, desecrated a lot of gravestones in Jewish cemeteries like this. It is closed today. I would like to go in there. I don't want to, obviously, even if it was open, I wouldn't film on camera in there. I am going to follow the rules, but think back to the 1600s, by the way, because as the sign over here states, in Jewish tradition, you have 24 hours to bury the body, but think about that in the 1600s, when you have 16 different communities all around the region trying to bring their bodies to this location and bury them within 24 hours. It's just incredible to think of the logistics, how they were able to manage to do this. I'm going to shoot, like I said, I'm shooting a couple B-roll shots over the fence, trying to be as respectful as I can. I hope I did an okay job telling this. I do want to get into more of those stories because that is part of the history. It's the darker kind. And again, I'm just trying to find my voice and make sure I tell that in a respectful way. But we're going to switch gears now. We're going down to the castle ruins here, and we're going to start to connect the dots from these castle ruins to the main event, which is down the road, and what I talked about earlier, how it became a ruin. How did Karlsburg, the castle, become a ruin, and what was it all about? But stay tuned, And you better pay attention because we're about to start connecting dots here. Well, this is definitely a little tricky to get to. You got to walk through some brush. This is not as touristically traveled as the other castle is and some of the other castles in Germany, but it's beautiful, it has a beautiful view, and the history behind it is that it was built in the year 1150. Now, this passed hands many, many times, including the Counts of Wertheim at one point, and even the Rienex, which, if you remember that name from the beginning of the episode, was kind of the arch enemy, if you will, of the Counts of Wertheim. But where this all gets connected across the land is the Peasants' War, the German Peasants' War between 1524 and 1525. And the German Peasants' War was what it sounds like, peasants uprising against the elite. This castle was completely destroyed, and there's one behind, and I'll show that. The tower, it's the Fat Tower that was restored between 1978 and 1983, the Fat Tower. But the German peasants completely wiped it out. Now, why is there a new Schloss, or a new castle? Well, that's because after the German Peasants' War, part of the agreement was that the peasants kind of had to rebuild a new castle. Now, that castle wasn't built for defense, or it wasn't built for war. It was built for administrative purposes. But this is one of the reasons I wanted to come here. Now, keep this in mind. The German Peasants' War is going to be key as we continue the journey. But man, this is just absolutely beautiful. The view behind me, the castle tower, the one right back here, which we're about to go to. I'm going to go see if we can get in there, see if we can climb to the top. It's winter time. I don't know, a lot of these passages are blocked off because of ice or whatever, but we're going to try. Let's go up there and try. I tried to find an entrance in the Fat Tower. Couldn't find one. Obviously there's a flag up there, so somehow there's a way in there. It's just not meant for me or anybody else, I guess, at this time of year. But it's still cool. I think it was definitely worth the trip up here. It's a hike up here though. It's worth it. Let's keep going. We are fast forwarding to the castle ruin because we're losing daylight. It's the middle of winter in Germany. The sun sets early. The sun will set behind these hills a little bit even earlier. And because I was enjoying the day, I took my time. Well, we're starting to lose a little daylight. So join me at the castle right now. So behind me, as you can see, it's not magic, is Karlsburg, the main event, the thing we've been going all day for, the thing that we've waited for, to have that question answered. That question, if you don't remember, was how did Karlsburg go from a major castle complex, which you can see the openness of it, which it used to be, but how did it end up like this? What caused this? So without further ado, you have waited patiently. Let's answer that question. How did it end up like this?
Karlsburg stands high above the Main Valley, where control once mattered more than comfort. This site was already fortified in the 8th century when early rulers used the river below to move people, goods, and power. What we see today belongs to later medieval phases beginning in the 13th century, built, expanded, and reshaped as threats changed and authority hardened. For centuries, Karlsburg served both kings and bishops, overseeing one of the most important routes through the Main Valley. But in 1525, during the German Peasants' War, castles like this became symbols of an order under attack. Karlsburg was destroyed and never rebuilt. What remains today isn't just a ruin, it's a record of how power rose, adapted, and ultimately fell.
The sun is starting to set, so that means our day is coming to a little bit of a conclusion. Look below me, this is just an absolutely beautiful town. I really enjoyed my day. My face is so red, it was so cold all day, but it was completely worth it. Completely worth trekking out in the cold all day. And if you had a good time and this wets your whistle just enough, make sure you subscribe because we have a lot of fun adventures, especially as the weather gets warmer. I'm going to be able to do a lot more cool things, plus other things start to open up, different castles, things like this. A big, big thank you once again, if she's watching, to Miss M from St. Andreas Church. She really, this lady found a way to really jumpstart our day and really set the tone for a great adventure, great exploration. And again, I'm just really thankful for that. Always thankful for the people that talk to me along the way and teach me new things. And if I made any mistakes throughout this, or I omitted something that you think is vital or something that really should have been talked about in this video about Karlstadt, Laudenbach, or the castle, please, 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 please comment. I am not perfect. I don't know everything. And if there's something valuable, all of us can learn from it. So please do that. But I do need to catch my train. 20 hours of flying tomorrow. And I want to warm up just a little bit before that. So until next time, adventure awaits.